My mother put me in dance when I was like 2 or 3 years old. I think that she thought that I was gonna grow up and be really antisocial, extremely shy when I was a kid. I'm still actually really shy. I sort of do my own thing and sit on my own until someone else sort of opens the floor for me to like make my entrance and to sort of insert myself into conversation and make friends. So she put me into a lot of different activities. I did dancing, I did cheerleading, I did a summer of art classes, I was in chorus, I did school plays, I was doing all of it. And we had one very specific conversation when I was, I think, 6. I remember being in the backseat of the car. The car was our best friend, by the way. I was always changing from dance clothes to cheerleading clothes to regular clothes, something like that, in the backseat of the car. So I think I was going from cheerleading practice, taking off my cheerleading uniform and putting on my ballet tights. And my mom said, you have to start to choose. What's the thing that you want? And I just said, dance. And she's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, of course, dance, fine. And I've been doing it since then. There's never a point in time where I thought that I needed to or should have been doing something else. This is always the thing since I could walk, the thing that I wanted to do. So I've been auditioning for The Lion King for the past 8 years, every 6 months, and then every once in a while they'll put out additional calls when they know that they need someone to be a replacement. So, gosh, I don't know, over the years I've probably stepped into the room to audition for the show at least 40 times, if not more than that. The first time I auditioned for it was when I was 18, and I was so over my head. I looked around, I was like, wow, you know, these girls really know what's going on. Auditions vary, but generally speaking, especially for The Lion King, it's not uncommon to walk into a room of 300 girls, and you're looking at a spot across the worldwide, honestly, that maybe they have one place for you to go. So out of 300 women, they'll break it down to maybe 75, that breaks down to 30, that breaks down to maybe 15, that breaks down to maybe 5 by the end of the day. And then even when you get to that point, which I did every single time, I still wouldn't get the call. So for years and years and years and years and years, I auditioned for the show, getting to that point and still not booking it. I tried to go to an audition one day, and this was, I remember this day clearly because it was my breaking point, and I remember not having enough money. I'd used all of my, like everything I had to get to the train station to go to this audition, and then the train didn't come. So it was around this time that, you know, things like that, like the train didn't come, or I went to an audition once at one building and they had canceled it in that building and put it somewhere across town, where at that point I didn't have time to either jump in a cab or get on the subway or walk to this new location. And it's something that wasn't posted, it wasn't anywhere, nobody knew that they had moved buildings, and it was all these bizarre things, and it was just God kind of saying, like, this is not what you're supposed to do, just wait, just hold on. I just remember getting home and sitting in my chair and sobbing and sitting with my Bible and opening it to a random page as I was praying. And it was, I'm paraphrasing of course, but it was a phrase that said, you know, everything that you ask for, you'll have. And it was in that instance that I stopped crying and I said, okay, fine, all right. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it out loud. I want The Lion King. There, I did it. And then I left it. And however long after that, I don't know, maybe a month or so, I am sitting on the train. I'm going to work. It's a Tuesday. And something says, don't put your headphones on, which is odd because I always have my headphones on when I'm in the city. So don't put my headphones on. And the only reason why that's important is because with my phone, if my headphones are on, I don't get any phone calls. It blocks them and it goes straight to voicemail so that I can keep listening to whatever is on. So my headphones are unplugged, I'm holding my phone, and I'm walking through World Trade Center, get to the top, and my phone rings. Still don't think anything of it, but I'm like, huh, good thing I wasn't listening to music. Answer it, and it's a very familiar voice. It's the casting director from Disney for Lion King, and he says to me, you got the job. I hang up the phone with him, And then it hits me. Oh my gosh, I just booked The Lion King. And I remember just getting on my knees and putting my head down and saying, thank you God, for doing this for me. This is my dream, and this is the only thing that I've ever wanted. I went from making like barely $30,000 a year to over $100,000 a year. Like, saying that kills me. I make over $100,000 a year. I will have paid my car off in another year and a half, I think. And within the next few years, my school loans will be paid off as well. And I won't have any debt. And I'm 31. And that is nuts to me. I have been able to travel the world. I've been to Finland and Germany and the Caribbean and Mexico and Canada and Japan and Amsterdam and the Netherlands, and places that people don't get to see. I think the path that I have been able to walk and have been blessed to walk is hugely because of my connection to Mt.Gilead. I think I would be a completely different human being if I didn't grow up with this family. And to be able to take the teachings and my church family with me everywhere I go is huge, and something that I don't take for granted at all. And I realize that that's something that definitely keeps me solid and grounded and continues to remind me of who I am. You know, I tithe automatically, so it just comes out of my account every week. I know that it's done. I know that it's taken care of. And my family gives me a hard time because I am always, Sundays we have 2 shows. And depending on where we are in the country, sometimes the time change is different and we're not on East Coast time. So I sometimes will text my mom and say, tell Bishop to hurry up. I got a show in 5 minutes and they're calling me. I will definitely be, you know, somewhere in a corner stretching with my headphones on, trying to get to prayer right before curtain comes up. And I've definitely, don't tell anyone, but I've come too close to showtime and then being like, where is Sade? We can't find her. And it's because I'm like listening to prayer, trying to get it done before I go out. So it's a huge part of who I am, and it's a huge part of my life. And I know that I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Bishop and co-pastor and Mt.Gilead, period. I'd be somewhere else, someone else. So that's kind of my life. I'm excited to see where it goes.